Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really remarkable chapter, Isaiah 65. It's packed with contrast, just 35 verses. Our mission, basically, is to unpack it, look at these really different paths and futures it lays out, and, well, see what insights pop out for you.
It really is a powerful piece. Isaiah 65, it doesn't hold back on showing consequences. It sets up this stark division before, building towards this vision of just profound renewal. It's a real
Yeah.
journey from like judgment to this massive sense of hope.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The chapter kicks off with a maybe a surprising statement from God. It feels a bit counterintuitive almost.
Yeah, what's fascinating right away is this declaration. I revealed myself to those who did not ask for me. I was found by those who did not seek me.
Right.
And to a nation that did not call on my name, I said, here am I, here am I. It kind of flips the usual script.
Right, it suggests God is actively reaching out, even if nobody's asking.
Exactly. It sets up this dynamic immediately.
Mhm.
Divine availability meeting, well, human inaction or even rejection.
But then the focus shifts, doesn't it? It gets more intense about who isn't seeking. He holds out his hands, but the text says, to who?
Precisely. All day long, that emphasizes the persistence,
Right.
right? But it's towards an obstinate people. And the text gets specific about how they're being obstinate. They're described as walking in ways not good, following their own imaginations.
Their own imaginations.
Yeah, and then specific actions. Sacrificing in gardens, burning incense on altars of brick. Now, sacrifice itself wasn't the issue, but where and how. Doing it in gardens, not the designated temple, and on brick altars, it suggests they're doing their own thing, maybe mixing in other forms of worship.
Unauthorized worship, basically. And it goes further, mentions some maybe more unsettling practices from the source's point of view.
It really does. It calls out things like sitting among the graves, spending nights, keeping secret vigil.
This could be linked to what? Necromancy?
Possibly, yeah, or seeking messages from the dead, things condemned elsewhere. And then there's the food. Eating the flesh of pigs, having broth of unclean meat in their pots. Given how important dietary laws were for identity and purity back then, these are framed as, pretty defiant acts, not just accidents.
Intentional provocations. And on top of all that, there's this attitude described too, like a kind of spiritual superiority.
Exactly. The source quotes them saying, keep away, don't come near me, for I am too sacred for you.
Uh,
Think about that. They're doing these things the text calls impure, but claiming they are too holy for others.
wow.
Yeah, that hypocrisy or self-righteousness is described as just deeply offensive, like smoke in my nostrils, a fire that keeps burning all day, a constant irritation.
So, okay, we have this picture. Persistent outreach met with stubborn rebellion and these specific provocative actions. What's the payoff? What are the consequences according to this chapter?
Well, the text is very clear, very firm. It says the response is already written before me, decided. And the declaration is, I will not keep silent, but will pay back in full. I will pay it back into their laps. It's presented as certain.
And it connects to past actions too.
Mm-hmm. It mentions both your sins and the sins of your fathers, specifically calling out past mountain sacrifices, defying God on hills. It suggests this isn't new, it's a pattern. So the judgment is tied to this long-term, ingrained rebellion.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, right? The chapter pivots. It doesn't say everyone faces this. There's a distinction made.
Right, that's a crucial turn. There's a total destruction. The text uses this analogy, this image of a cluster of grapes. Someone sees juice still in it and says, don't destroy it, there is yet some good in it, and then applies it directly. So will I do in behalf of my servants. I will not destroy them all.
My servants. Okay.
Yet this introduces a key group. They're distinct from the obstinate ones. There's a remnant, preserved not necessarily on their own merit, but in behalf of my servants.
So who are these servants? How are they different? What's their future look like in contrast?
Well, the source identifies them as descendants from Jacob and from Judah, so there's that link to the covenant people. But specifically, the ones aligned differently. They're called my chosen people, my servants, and their destiny. Not destruction, but inheritance. They possess my mountains, inherit them, and there will my servants live.
And it even gives places, like real locations.
Yes, specific places that become peaceful and secure for them. Sharon becomes a pasture for flocks, the Valley of Achor, a resting place for herds. And these are clearly marked as the people who seek me, the complete opposite of the first group.
Right. So what about that first group? The ones doing the provocative things who forsake the Lord. The text is pretty blunt about their alternative fate, isn't it?
Oh, incredibly blunt, no ambiguity. For those who forsake the Lord and forget my holy mountain, and then, significantly, who spread a table for fortune and fill bowls of mixed wine for destiny. Their fate is sealed.
Fortune and destiny capitalized there. What's that telling us?
It strongly implies they're treating these almost like gods, putting their trust, maybe their worship, into luck or fate, instead of the God described in the text.
So actively choosing other loyalties.
Exactly. It's not just passive disobedience.
And the consequence for that choice.
It's a chilling contrast to the servant's inheritance. I will destine you for the sword, and you will all bend down for the slaughter. And the text explicitly gives the reason why, connecting it right back to the start. For I called, but you did not answer. I spoke, but you did not listen. You did evil in my sight and chose what displeases me.
Wow. Okay. So a really clear split based on who you trust, what you do, and then the sovereign Lord spells out the contrasting experiences, almost point by point.
Yes, it's like a side-by-side comparison, showing this complete reversal of fortune depending on which path was chosen. The source just lays it out. My servants will eat, but you will go hungry.
Sustenance versus lack.
My servants will drink, but you will go thirsty.
Again, basic needs met versus unmet.
My servants will rejoice, but you will be put to shame.
Joy versus humiliation.
My servants will sing out of the joy of their hearts, but you will cry out from anguish of heart and wail in brokenness of spirit. It's about their fundamental state of being satisfaction, joy, versus just utter agony and despair.
That's incredibly stark. And it even affects their names, their very identity.
Yeah, that's a powerful detail, isn't it? You will leave your name to my chosen ones as a curse. Your identity becomes a byword for failure.
Ooh.
But conversely, the sovereign Lord will put you to death, but to his servants, you'll give another name. And a new name in this kind of context often means a whole new identity, a new status, a changed relationship. It's a total transformation.
So looking forward then, how does this difference play out in public life, in how people make oaths or give blessings?
Well, it shifts the whole basis of truth and commitment in the land. Whoever invokes a blessing in the land will do so by the God of truth. He who takes an oath in the land will swear by the God of truth. It means the recognized source of truth, the grounding for reliable promises, becomes solely this divine being. No more swearing by fortune or destiny.
Right, a single point of reference.
Exactly. And for the servants, this part wraps up with this huge promise. For the past troubles will be forgotten and hidden from my eyes. It's not just a new status, it's like wiping the slate clean, forgetting the history of suffering and failure from the old era.
That idea of forgetting past troubles feels like the perfect launch pad for the final section, which is just this amazing, almost utopian vision. What exactly is being created?
Yeah, this is where the chapter just explodes with hope. The declaration is, behold, I will create new heavens and a new earth.
Not just fixing the old ones, but new ones.
Totally new. It's a cosmic scale transformation,
Yeah.
a renewal of reality itself. And the key result, the former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. All the pain, the rebellion, the judgment described earlier, just gone. Obsolete, doesn't even register anymore.
And the focus of this new creation, at least initially, seems to be on Jerusalem.
Yes, it zooms in. I will create Jerusalem to be a delight and its people a joy. So from the cosmic, it comes down to this renewed, joyful community. And, really importantly, God's own reaction is part of it. I will rejoice over Jerusalem and take delight in my people. It's mutual delight.
Which leads to?
The sound of weeping and of crying will be heard in it no more. All that anguish from earlier, erased.
Then the description gets really specific about, well, just life in this new creation. The quality of life sounds unreal.
It really does. It focuses on tangible things, like incredible longevity and security. Never again will there be in it an infant who lives but a few days or an old man who does not live out his years.
So infant mortality gone, long life the norm.
And the benchmark is staggering. He who dies at 100 will be thought a mere youth. He who fails to reach 100 will be considered accursed. It paints this picture where a long, full life is standard. Dying young at 100 is the anomaly, linked to the curse reserved for the other group.
And what about work, their labor? It sounds like they actually get to enjoy the fruits of it.
Precisely. They will build houses and dwell in them. They will plant vineyards and eat their fruit. This is the direct opposite of the earlier implied insecurity, where maybe your enemy benefits from your work.
Right, no more futility.
None. No longer will they build houses and others live in them, or plant and others eat. Total security. Enjoyment of your own effort. For as the days of a tree, so will be the days of my people. My chosen ones will long enjoy the works of their hands. Their lifespan is like a tree's, suggesting enduring, fruitful lives.
And that blessing extends to their kids, too, right? It's generational.
Yes, explicitly. They will not toil in vain or bear children doomed to misfortune, for they will be a people blessed by the Lord, they and their descendants with them. So it's a lineage of blessing, free from that futility and bad luck that mark the others. Generational security and favor.
Okay, and this next bit about communication with God, it sounds almost instantaneous.
It's incredible, isn't it? Before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear. Think about that closeness, that responsiveness. The need is met almost before it's even fully expressed. It suggests this deep intimacy, attentiveness.
And then finally, this vision expands out again to the natural world itself, describing a harmony that feels, well, legendary.
Yeah, the transformation touches all of creation. The wolf and the lamb will feed together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox.
A lion eating straw.
Right, a
Yeah.
complete reversal of its nature. Predation is gone. Conflict, even among animals, is eliminated, but dust will be the serpent's food. That might echo older judgment narratives, but it emphasizes the removal of harm. And the final word on this holy mountain, this new realm, is just simple. They will neither harm nor destroy. Absolute peace. Total integrity.
Wow. Okay, so what a journey through Isaiah 65. We started with God reaching out, being met with rejection, specific offensive acts, and the resulting consequences. Then that sharp split, not everyone faces judgment. There's this group of servants who are preserved.
Hmm.
We saw their totally opposite futures. Judgment and lack versus inheritance, joy, even a new name. And then it all culminates in this just breathtaking vision of a new creation. New heavens, new earth, renewed city, incredible quality of life, longevity, fruitful work, deep connection with God, and even peace in nature itself.
Absolutely. This deep dive really shows a text wrestling with, the harsh realities of rejection and consequence, but ultimately pushing toward this radical, all-encompassing renewal for those identified as the faithful, the servants. It's a vision addressing brokenness on every single level.
So when you hear all that, the stark contrast between judgment and hope, and especially that final sweeping vision of a world made new,
Mm.
what does that spark in you? What stands out most when you think about a reality where the past is forgotten and everything, right down to the animals, is living in harmony? Something to think about.